So dementia is an umbrella term, I understand, for many different conditions and diseases. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I suppose let's first of all start with dementia as a sort of term. I think it is quite difficult for people to understand, but essentially it's a syndrome, and what I mean by that, it's a condition which is describing that your brain function is not working so well. So that traditionally people think of memory function going down, so their short-term memory is not so good in people with dementia, but also other domains can be affected as well. So your decision making, your ability perhaps to see things in space and orientate yourself, and a whole host of other things. So dementia is really just a term to describe your brain is not working so well. Now, dementia is caused by a lot of different things, and probably there's over 100 different causes of what we call neurodegenerative dementia. Now, the most common one that people are probably familiar with is Alzheimer's disease. And then after that, there's other conditions such as vascular dementia, dementia with Lewy bodies, frontotemporal dementia, and then a whole host of other conditions as well, which can affect your brain function and give rise to dementia syndrome.
It's very difficult for carers to disentangle what is the person, what's their previous relationship, and whatever difficulties they may have had in that, and what is now caused by the dementia.
Because what are your thoughts on that? Because you often, there's advice to see the person within. I mean, but people with dementia, some people are very much the same as they were, but others, there can be quite marked personality changes.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, some people with dementia continue to be exactly the same people as they were before, but are forgetful or need assistance and prompting with things. And that's very different from the person who undergoes a major personality change, who may become aggressive or impulsive, or engage in kind of behaviours that they wouldn't have done previously. And I think we understand that sometimes dementia affects the front part of the brain, which is the bit that, if you like, inhibits behaviours that get released as the frontal lobe gets damaged.
And the duration of the dementia as well can last many years, can't it? Which impact on your decisions.
I guess that's the uncertainty that somebody who's working and who's carer feels when they go in to have a discussion with an employer. It's different for every individual case. So therefore, whilst an employer might have an understanding, might have knowledge of dementia, actually it might be entirely different for that particular carer, and the issues facing that carer will be entirely different. So it's the individuality of each case that needs to be thought through, and I guess that's the issue. The carer will be going in thinking, these are the key issues that face me, and the employer may think, I know what the issues are here, but actually they will be entirely different for each individual employee.
My mother-in-law was diagnosed recently with quite an aggressive form of Alzheimer's, which is Alzheimer's with Lewy bodies, which has the unfortunate problem of she has hallucinations. So that meant that various things came up in her mind about people in the house and people having heart attacks in the house and possibly wandering around on the streets in inappropriate clothing. So that meant that my wife and I were called at all hours of the day to try and deal with situations that had arisen. For example, she called the police on one occasion. I got called at work by the police to go and see what had happened and try and resolve things. On another occasion, she called an ambulance because she thought somebody was having a heart attack on the settee. I had to go and deal with that, and then in the middle of the night, my mother-in-law went out thinking she had to go to an appointment, and she had little more than dressing gown on, no shoes, wandering the streets. So it was quite difficult.